All right, I'm recording this mid-game. 2 minutes left in the first quarter right now. Literally doing this in real time. Chris Olave is probably going to need to retire. It sucks for the kid because he's obviously a great young player that has all the potential in the world to be one of the league's best receivers. He already is, right? But he has had so many concussions just in the last few years alone that it's honestly really scary at this point. And for him to be laid out on the field like that, have to be stretchered out due to what is now confirmed to be a concussion, it's not worth the long term health. He needs to seriously consider retiring, right? And that's not even mentioning his idiotic quarterback, Derek Carr, who has, by the way, been in the league over a decade. You know you have a receiver in Chris Olave who has struggled with concussions, who is coming off of a concussion. You're sitting in the pocket, there's no pressure on you. You throw a hospital ball, a ball over the middle that's, first of all, too high, uncatchable. So that causes Olave to try and go up and get it, right? Which puts him in the perfect position to get absolutely demolished. So your quarterback who's been in the league over a decade throws you a hospital ball to a receiver who he knows is having concussion problems, right? Get this idiot, Derek Carr, off of my football team. Get this guy out of the NFL. I don't even care about this game going on right now. What a dark time for the Saints organization this is right now. What an absolute dark time this is. And Michael Thomas went on Twitter as soon as this happened, right? Everybody likes to call Michael Thomas crazy. Everybody says, he's just out of his mind, right? And maybe he is a little bit. But there's one thing he's right on. And that's when it comes to Derek Carr. So as soon as this happened, he gets on Twitter and says, Derek Carr for you, I've been told y'all this is sad. So he's saying he's been telling us about Derek Carr in terms of setting his receivers up to injury. Michael Thomas, of course, believes that Derek Carr threw him a couple hospital balls last year in Minnesota that ended up probably ending MT's career, right? Obviously, Michael Thomas dealt with a lot of injuries before then, but if you watch the game, that's kind of what happened, right? Bad balls put his receiver in the position to get hit. Same thing that just happened to Chris Olave, right? He says, dude's scary, panic, and just throws the ball. Get him the F out of here, okay? And that's the thing, right? The play that just happened with Chris Olave, the pocket was clean. There was no pressure. There was no reason for Derek Carr to even throw that ball to Olave to even incite the chance of something like this happening. Then he says, Mike Thomas says, that year his buddy went first team All Pro in 2022. He needed 180 targets just to catch 100 passes. He's talking about Devontae Adams, right? How he needed 180 targets just to catch 100 passes. Again, an insult to Derek Carr, not Devontae Adams. Then he said, dude tried to lie and say I was jealous of them making Chris wide receiver one. Whole time he can't even get him a decent ball. He needs his ASS whooped. He, Mike Thomas right now is mad. He's upset. And he has the absolute right to be. He just watched his friend get absolutely clobbered on national television because the quarterback that's been in the league over a decade can't throw an accurate ball or decide not to when you shouldn't throw a ball, considering the circumstances, right? Then he says they fired all them coaches trying to cover his flaws up, and he's still doing the same stuff. And he is absolutely right. So you can call Mike Thomas crazy all you want, but there's one thing he is not wrong about, and that's Derek Carr. Derek Carr needs to get far away from the New Orleans Saints. What he just did to Chris Olave is absolutely disgusting. I don't care. Like, I don't care. It's horrible, and he needs to go. Dennis Allen should if Dennis Allen had any integrity whatsoever, he would have put Derek Carr on the bench right now. Who cares about who? The season's over, dog. The season's over. You're in a 6-0 game with the Carolina Panthers going into the second quarter, bro. Come on, man. Get out of here. Like garbage.